sun as the days go on forever. There's no place for time when you're young. Can't find the words, but we know how we feel. Could we stay longer here in the summer?
I'm running away from the past I left behind. I'm looking for answers, but I'm blinded by the light. I'm lost in the music, can I stay here for the night? I promise I'll be gone in the morning, out of sight and out of mind. Snowblind.
Alright, let me make sure the audio works. Okay, it's working. Great. Alright, so this is Mark, and so tonight's show, we're going to be looking at our 5-week challenge entries, and I believe there's only one, and there's also one from Randy. Let me see here. Okay, so yeah, there's only one entry, and there's one from Randy we'll watch as well, just for fun. Let me bring up who's our sponsor for tonight. Alright, so we have our Armor Benders armature kits from Tetsu. And if you guys are interested in making your own armatures or anything like that, you probably aren't interested in buying your own kits, but if you're, if you have the money to spare and you want to save time, armatures like these are really awesome. And so I could actually bring this up on our, let me see here, computer screen, here we go. So armor benders are a kind of armature that it's actually made in Japan from one of our armature designers, and his name is Tetsu. And so you can see here what it looks like up close. And so these are all phosphor bronze balls, I believe, with aluminum parts as well as brass sandwich plates. And the armatures are really strong, and they move very smoothly as well. And they actually come partly assembled like this. So it's not, you don't have to like put everything together and solder things or anything like that. It's not that hard. But you can see all the parts involved. And so yeah, I mean, I really love the kits that I've got. I've gotten some samples from him just for reviewing, because he wanted to make sure that I liked what he did before we put them together. And at one time we actually worked with Jim Danforth to make one of our designs, one of our earlier designs. And so we've gone through a lot of different versions of this where we've had chrome plated parts and things like that, which are kind of make the parts work a little bit more smoothly, and also because brass tends to oxidize a little bit over time. Not that it causes any problem during animation, but it doesn't look as pretty, once your greasy hands get on everything, and things do get dirty over time, which is pretty much expected for any armature anyway. But the latest version, we came up with some larger ball joints in the midsection here, and we figured that if people make like a really fat puppet, the smaller joints don't really cut it. It doesn't hold up, especially with something like silicone or foam latex. So anyway, just a little bit of a history of these kits, and we've sold these for I think probably about, I'm gonna say, 7+ years, and they're super well liked because Tetsu is just a phenomenal armature machinist. So anyways, so moving forward, okay, so so our 5-week challenges, we have these of course every 5 weeks, where someone comes up with a topic, usually the previous winner of our challenges. And so according to what I wrote, so Greg had won the previous challenge, and I think it was the burger theme, right? So he came up with the newer theme, which is the outdoor sports activities and hobbies. So anyway, we did have, of course, Dirty Red submitted this last time, and he had submitted it during, I think, like right before our live show started, so I never noticed that he actually submitted it. I didn't think anybody entered at all. So I didn't miss it, and I told him that, well, we're going to definitely watch this live on our next live show. So that would be tonight. And so he's got this one short film called Old Man Fishing Rip. And let me see, I think he might have meant to say trip, but let me open this in a new tab. Okay. So hopefully this all works now. Let me mute my microphone and let's watch.
Well, I hope this is a good spot you picked. I could be at Fab's Burger right now having a burger instead of sitting here.
Yes, I'm telling you, they were here last week.
Well, I hope at least you have cold beer.
I got cold beer.
Well, give me a beer.
Hold on, your horses.
You sure there's fish out here?
I'm telling you.
Holy crap.
Well, I don't think the fish are in here now.
So there it is, and obviously, I think every time we do these 5-week challenges, it just amazes me that people use these different tricks to extend the amount of time that the film goes, and I think that. So let me make sure I got it. Okay, it is definitely Dirty Red. For some reason, I'm thinking it was Greg. But so Dirty Red used this like little cycle here in the water, and you can see that it's looped, and then he's got the dialogue going, and it just works really well. So it's a great way to extend the time. So really awesome, and the animation is really great. The voice acting, of course, fits really well, and
You sure there's fish out here?
And this particular shot here, I think, is great as well, because look at how we've got some forced perspective of some little guys in the background, or little fishermen, and when he casts it, the little bobber, of course, is gigantic in the frame, and it really gives this illusion of depth to the whole thing. So I think that's really great. I think a lot of people could learn from watching this, and again, back to the cycle as well to extend the time.
Holy crap. Well, I don't think the fish are in here now.
So we got some very smooth animation, of course, at the end of the shark fin going by. So yeah, I think this is really great, and it's kind of a shame that only he was the only person to enter. But so there it is, and so he is going to be the winner. But we are going to watch one more, and this is one that Randy created a while back, and it's pretty funny. So so let's watch.
This is Artie Hagerstad reporting for Scandinavian News. I am at the super radical ultimate Pro kayak race to the max. This tame-looking river holds challenges previously unheard of in the kayak racing world. And now meet the very first contestants to ever run this course. Svartsveld Offendrunken was born in Hawaii but now lives in Germania. Svartsveld is in the red boat. Pat is from out there somewhere but now lives near here somewhere. Pat is in the green boat. Yuli Otterblatter is from Budapest, Anita. Yuli is in the blue boat. Today's live air announcer will be Air Announcer.
Thank you, Otley. Hi there, I'm Air Announcer. Let's get this over with.
Okie dokie, yeah, whatever. Okay, you boaters, go!
And here they come.
Well, that was quick.
Quiet, you. Looks like green takes an early lead. Nice form, but there's trouble. It's a giant river shark. Too bad. Red and blue are neck and neck, and hey, green's back in it.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Shh! Blue jumps out in front, doing a good job, and oh no, it's some sort of river creature. Too bad. Red and green are battling it out, and well, there's blue.
Oh, sweet Lefsa.
Shh! Red makes a move for the lead. Oh no, it's a giant river octopus. Too bad. Green and blue will race alone or not. There's red. Amazing.
Oh, thank you, Lord.
Shh! Blue tries to push ahead of the others, and a giant river eel. Too bad. As red and green mourn the loss of that weird blue guy. Oh wow, it's blue.
Heavens to Bjorksy.
Shh! Red seems determined to take this victory, but a giant river crocodile. Too bad. Well, green and blue just can't get away from red.
Well, that's good. Phew.
Quiet, you. Coming to the finish, green pushes into first place. What a day! It's a giant river monster. Too bad. Red and blue are neck and neck, and green makes another miraculous comeback.
Oh, thank goodness.
Shh! Green inches ahead and takes the gold. Now Otley will present the gold medal.
Here you go.
Oh, a giant land octopus. Too bad.
Okie dokie, yeah, whatever. This is Artie Hagerstad.
Oh, it's a giant land shark. Too bad.
There you have it. So that's Heavens to Bjorksy. That is Hoovies Kayaks to the Max from Randy Boyum Animations. And so if you guys want to check out more of his awesome stuff, you can click on his channel link, which is probably on our site somewhere. I imagine under his username somewhere. Let's see here. But yeah, so Randy Boyum Animations, you can search for that as well. And well, yeah, just click on any of his videos, and I imagine just click on YouTube, and you will find even more of his work, which is all very funny. And I almost want to show the burger one, but anyway, we're not going to do that again because we've watched it about 20 times. But anyways, so congrats to Dirty Red for his entry. And yeah, all right. So I will probably, let's see, what's today's date? It is the 9th. So hopefully in another day or two, I will have our new theme posted. So I hate not seeing what you guys are saying. So I'm gonna put this on webcam and get rid of the computer screen, and I'm gonna open my chat so I can see what the heck is going on. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, so obviously, yeah, Randy is saying also that he loves the cast and the bobber that was close up, and that was really awesome. I think not too many people dabble in forced perspective, you know, and that was just really well done. And it was blurry, a little bit blurry on the close up, but that didn't really distract from what was being done, and you could understand it really well. So yeah, unfortunately, you know, only one person entered this time, but if you guys want to see more, you guys gotta enter more. So, okay, now, I really miss having two monitors on this computer because I used to be able to read comments and show you guys what was going on as well on YouTube. Alright, so anyways, here we are again, and what we've got before us is, this is one of our secondary characters, which we've been working on, and you can see all that we've got done so far here. And what I did is I cast some more faces. These are two castings, so this is the original, and this is the cast. As you can tell, we have a lot of extra molten clay which we have to trim. You can see that the Rebound 25 silicone that I use, it just copies things so precisely. Look at how close these faces are. So Rebound 25, that's the silicone. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't make any money or anything, but it's some good stuff. Very good stuff. Two parts, so it's like a two-part silicone, which you guys have seen me mix up in the past. But for anybody new, you can get it from smoothon.com, and it is, I think, about $40 for 2 pounds. It comes in like two round bottle-like containers, or actually they're more like jars. But they're, you know, obviously it's not like a glass jar you can see there. It's made from plastic, and you just mix up the two parts, and then you you know, coat your model. So here I've not taken these out yet, so you can see how what I did is I used my heat gun, and I took a length of clay, this one, and I melted this with the heat gun and let it drip inside the mold, and then I would spread it around, kind of push it into all the details, and then fill up the rest. And I did that to both sides, so that's why it looks like, obviously, it's, you know, melted. And not all clay can melt like this. If you're in the UK and you use Nuplast clay, it really doesn't melt like this. It's not the greatest stuff in the world. So now this one here did not come out as great as I would have liked. I didn't get the clay up underneath this edge on the mold. But that's okay, because we're going to modify these faces. So you can see here that this edge is missing some clay. So it looks a little bit off, you know. It's a little bit foreshortened on this part. That's alright. Now this one here, let's see if we did a better job. So, yeah, not too bad. It's a few little air bubbles, but, you know, that doesn't really matter. Let's see if you can see. Yeah, a few little air pockets. No biggie. So we're gonna, you know, obviously these are the neutral facial positions, these two. And these are the castings. So we're gonna, actually let me move these up here. I don't want to mess those up. I'm not really sure how many faces I need to make. oh, where's my tool? Sculpting tools. I need sculpting tools. Here it is. I need to clean this first. So if your fingers have a lot of clay on them, or your tools have a lot of clay on them, you want to make sure you wipe your hands off first, because any colors that are on your tools that you previously sculpted with can transfer to your new sculptures. So kind of clean my tool off here. So let's see. So I can make a smiley face. This one I'm not sure what I'm going to do with, because like I say, it didn't cast properly. But I'll have to think of a face position that this foreshortening will not be a problem with. Maybe I can make him look kind of... Oh, well, it's in my imagination here. I think I'm going to make him look like... I'm going to put his mouth up like this. So it looks like he's kind of pouting his lips a bit. And then I'm going to... Let's see, where's my clay? Here it is. Kind of make his chin stick out a little bit up here. And this expression... I think he'll look kind of perplexed. And that's a good facial expression for this guy, because all the characters will have kind of that look at some point. And I'm going to kind of use the messed up casting as a way to sort of make them look different. Like Bob Ross would say, a happy accident. You know, I don't know what kind of... I'm thinking I should probably have a voice actor do some of the voice acting for these guys. I still don't know if I want to have a narration, like a dialogue, where somebody says what is happening or not, because I think if it's just a universal, like more pantomime gestural stuff, that it can be, you know, I can show this in any country and not have to worry about translating anything. And so, I kind of look at it, think about how it will look if I animate it. Where do the lips need to be? I think the lower lip needs to be a bit thicker, so I'm gonna that might help a bit. Something like this. And the chin. So I'm going to give it a little bit more of a chin there as well. It's all going to be pretty subtle. I'm going to have light, like I said in the, previously. The light is going to be, at this kind of an angle, where it's coming from a sharp angle this way. And any details that I sculpt will be accented, or kind of exaggerated. And so that's kind of one of the things with when you do clay on glass like this, when you do a relief type sculpture for each of your characters, you don't want to have the lighting too flat. You don't want to have it, from above, like what we're looking at here. So, or something like, above where your camera is, straight down. You want to have it off to the side, like that. A nice steep angle. And you can see more of the details that I've sculpted just by doing that, from moving my light, as opposed to where it usually is, like this. That's something that we do later on, but when I'm looking at this, I'm kind of like holding it at the in the light, kind of turning it, making sure that all the details look pretty good from about where I'll have the lighting in, but when I actually take the high quality photos of all these. So anyway, I hope you guys have been having a good week. I did talk to somebody today on the phone briefly, and the other day, who was making a clay animated film, but they're thinking of using different materials. And they sort of explained their process of making trees and set pieces and stuff. And it's pretty interesting, like people have these different ways of doing things, different processes. There were no sort of, most of the stuff that he said was stuff that I had heard before. So nothing really, new and under the sun or anything like that. But for people that haven't really delved into stop motion, it's the thought process behind solving all the problems is what is kind of fun about it. And if you really like to solve problems, or, and I think in the case of like Randy here, Randy likes to tell jokes, so I think if you have like a passion for either storytelling or making people laugh, or you're technical minded, you might enjoy like just the technical aspects of stop motion. Like I know most people that are into stop motion are like jacks of all trade, and someone like Tom Brierton, I don't know if you guys know who Tom Brierton is, but he has been working on a new DVD for how to make armatures, how to machine them, which is something that has been done since the 1930s, and Willis O'Brien and Marcel Delgado and all those guys. Ray Harryhausen, his team of people that made armatures. And so it's a rare kind of art, and he's got a book or two out there on making puppets and making armatures, but there has not been a video created yet that I know of on how to do it. So he'll be one of the first, and I told him, I'd love to offer that in our online store, because nobody out there besides a handful of people really knows how to make armatures like that. And he's got lots of experience doing it as well. And I want to learn. I'd love to learn how to do it, although I don't think I would want to do it myself, because you had to buy all the equipment and all of that. And I would rather just like hire, pay somebody to make an armature for me, or buy an armature kit or something, and just modify it a bit, because it does take a lot of money to set up yourself with equipment, and you have to really buy a lot of things to make an armature. So the cost for an armature for somebody that is just delving into it without any equipment, could be in the thousands of dollars. But if you already have the equipment, and let's say maybe your parents or somebody in your family works in machining or something for whatever reason, like maybe working on rebuilding cars and things like that, And there's a lot of people that do that. So you can, of course, use that kind of equipment to, work on an armature or something. So, but I think just having the knowledge, though, and kind of putting it in a video is just a way to preserve, how it's been done, and instead of it just being lost to time. I think a lot of artists that are really good at something, a lot of their techniques kind of go to the wayside, and that's always kind of sad because some people devote their entire lives to perfecting an art form, and we kind of take for granted all the technology that we have today. And I think, for example, 3D printing will definitely be taking over armature making. I think that once the metallurgical type 3D printers come into the mainstream, it's going to be something that everybody is going to be using for armature making. So what to do with this one here? So what kind of expression should I do? I think a smile would be good. So I'll just kind of go like this. So I'll have like a neutral face, a smiley face, perplexed face, and I do know that we're going to need some angry faces. So I might go with like one or two of these, maybe one angry and one not really sure yet. Maybe a surprised face. The thing with this is that I'm not really sure. I want to mix things up with these characters, but I haven't really planned out like what each scene will require, so I'm just kind of going with generic stuff. Let's go with this. Oh. I don't know, this might be kind of weird, but let's see what happens. It's going to kind of rough sculpt this into shape. Tony, you're saying that Iran launched missiles at Israel? Wow. Is that true? Oh, man. Well, that's not cool if that's true. Yep. I don't know. I think our leaders are not good leaders if they're always going to war. Well, if that's true, let's hope that not a lot of people get killed. See, maybe there's some diplomatic solutions there. That's crazy. That sucks. Not good, not good. Alright, well, all I can do is sculpt. That's the only superpower I have right now, so I'm gonna focus on this guy. Alright, so I'm kind of liking the way this is looking so far. I think that the smile is nice. Look at it upside down. So I kind of took his chubby cheeks, and I might add a little bit more here. A little bit of a bulge where his cheeks have kind of gone upwards and backwards. So the volume of the clay here hopefully will be, it'll look natural as a replacement. Like the meat of the face is also moving where it's supposed to and flexing and all that. There we go. So what do you guys think of that so far? Let's see if I can get this to focus. So there's the rough smile. And I'm gonna add just a little bit of clay over here to bulge this out slightly. Ooh, stuck to my tool. All right. There we are. Okay. So we got some cheek action going on both sides. Alright, so we have our sort of neutral position and a smile. So that takes some of our... So you guys noticed before I was smoothing this out, what I use is mineral oil. So it's just a little bit of mineral oil in our cup with some paper towels in there. Just kind of go over it with my finger. And it's about as good as you can do with your fingers. And I'm going to take my little brush tool, and before I use this, I'm going to clean it off with a paper towel. Just a bit. And this is what I use to get into the details, so I'm just going to make sure that I have some oil on it first. And then just kind of, you guys can see here, get in there and just kind of buff out any kind of imperfections. Something like this. And then, so if you're doing this, something like this yourself, a lot of times what you'll do is you'll end up smoothing out details you don't really want to this way. But like I always say, what I'll do is I will add those details back in with my tool. But it gives you a more precise way to add the details, as opposed to it being kind of like the whole thing being sort of mushy. And so let's see. So I think with the lips, I will do that. I'll just kind of get in here, and where I sort of flattened out this upper lip, I'm just going to kind of, or smooth it, I'm going to re-add that lip line right there. So he really looks like he's smiling nicely here. like that. Okay, that's nice. That's pretty nice, I think. Okay. All right, so there it is, Mr. Smiley Face. So we have perplexed face, a smiley face, and like I say, I want to have at least one angry face. An angry face and a sad face. So this guy here is going to be sad. And this one is going to be angry. So let's do the angry first. Yeah, thanks, Randy. So this one, thinking, So now his eyes, he's gonna have to have some eyebrows up here, and then I think I'm gonna go with a weird kind of like this, like a bit of a snarly kind of, almost annoyed look on his face. So I don't think my other characters that are angry have that sort of look. So try to keep them, a little bit unique, so each character doesn't blend too much into the other characters' expressions and things. Oops. Get rid of that little piece there. So again, when you do this, like what I usually do is I'm pretty loose with my sculpting it first. And the thing with this is that if you try to make something look good instantly, a lot of times that's one of the things that people, of course, that are beginners do, is they think, oh, I'm going to make this expression and it's going to take me 2 minutes to do, and I want it to be perfect, And then a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll try to do the details first, but you need to get the general shapes in there. You can't just work on, oh, here's the corner of his lip and it's going to be like this, and Nope, you want to work kind of loosely and broadly and just kind of rough everything in, and then slowly refine the details as you go. So like this guy here, he's, I don't really have to do a lot of sculpting to get this expression in there, but that's a good general rule though. You don't want to make things detailed right away. So I'm thinking here I could have some jowly things going on, because his lips are moving up. So if all this is kind of moving up, I might also have I might add some clay right underneath here, because that would also bulge in that spot. So I think under here. Let's see, right there. So give him some more puffy cheeks. He just has some kind of weird cheek thing going on there. Like his cheeks are unique. So we're going to just go like this and just kind of rough that in. Sort of like that. So here it is. You can see how I've sort of raised all this meat of his face up there like that. And then for here, it's going to blend all this together. And I think that this will really accent that weird cheek thing he's got going on. Kind of like a bulldog or something, you know. They got those like jowly, fleshy things on the side of their mouth, you know. Where all like the drool and everything kind of hangs off. So this isn't going to be as dramatic as that, but it's kind of the idea. Alright, so I think the general shape's pretty good. Looking at it though, I need to give him more of a chin now too. Like this one here, I kind of gave him a chin under his lip. So to be consistent, it's going to add a little bit of meat right under here. So it kind of looks like he's like putting his chin outwards and upwards. So I think, you know, I'm going to make the angles under here is all, you know, as well lined up with that. So somewhat of a forced perspective kind of thing going on. Just a subtle thing. Maybe even under here, like, yeah. And then again, just roughly, I'm gonna give him these brows because I want this to really look like his whole face got scrunched. I really enjoy working with this clay. I mean, even the color, the orange color, is kind of fun. One of my favorite characters was always that carrot character from Meet the Raisins that John Ashley animated, and he used the orange. I don't know if it was Avalon clay or what. I'm leaning towards that it was not. I think it might have been Van Eycken at that point. Because I think the translucency of this Avalon clay is a bit different. Although it might not be. I don't know. You know, there's some people that are recluses, you know, like stop motion recluses that you never hear about that are amazing artists. And John Ashley was one of those people. I mean, you never hear about him, but... And he's one of those kind of people that has a lot of knowledge. Especially about clay, you know, particularly clay animation. And also lighting wise. Like if there was anybody that was going to write a book about lighting for stop motion, he'd be the perfect author. Because his experience in that is just, he's lit so much on so many stop motion scenes. And he has an eye for that, you know. And he understands how light affects the cameras that they use and all that kind of stuff that not too many people really understand fully. And so he's been working at Wolventons, which is now Leica, for some, how many years? Since I think like 85 or 6. So he's been there for a long time. And I was lucky enough to meet him in Portland in around like 95 or 96 when I went up there. and he taught me how to load film into my 16mm Cine Special camera. And he also taught me a lot of the tricks that he used to animate. And he showed me how you make like different mouth positions with different tools and things, and showed me some of the sets that they were working on and all kinds of stuff. And when I was at that time, I was only how old, like 19 or 20, and it was just a dream come true to really see all those amazing techniques that they used, you know. So Randy's asking, what is this guy smiling about? Well, they're going to be eating apples, and they love apples, and so when he is interacting with the other characters, he is ecstatic just to be around those apples. So there are scenes where they stand around and eat the apples, and they're happy, and they share apples and stuff like that. And then this is when they, the angry expressions are for when they all get angry at the other mother character, the main mother character, and they turn against her. So so I'm just kind of mixing up these expressions so I kind of have a palette to work with, palette of expressions. I think this is pretty good here. They say when you're angry, you use more muscles in your face. So I think this will work pretty well. Now, I will have to paint these eyeballs black at some point. But here's the angry expression. I think this will... see if I can get this to focus. Focus, 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 focus. You gonna focus? Come on, camera. There's nothing else to focus on. There we go. Alright. Smiley and mad. Alright. So this one is going to be the sad expression. So he's going to be... this is when they realized that they were very stupid to act the way they did. So there are some little air bubbles here. I'm just going to kind of fill them up with clay. I'm not going to really sculpt this if I can help. I don't want to like dig into this clay and start moving stuff around too much. I want to be pretty subtle because this is going to be a face that may transition from another shape. I want to make sure all the details line up. And this one, I mean, we've got what, about 10 minutes left, so this isn't going to really require a lot of sculpting. I might just add a little bit of clay up here to kind of give that scooped up eyebrow look, because when you're sad, if you're genuinely sad, like some people, if you want to know if a person's sad and they're faking it, like, you know how like sometimes the dog will do that, like they want a treat or something, and or they're guilty about destroying something like the toilet paper roll or something like that, and they'll pretend to be they'll pretend to be sad. Well, here's just a fun fact. So see if this pencil works. Now I'm going to use this big pen. You can see this easier. So here's your eyeballs. Alright. So a fake sad person, their eyebrows will go like this. But a truly sad person, your eyebrows do this. They come together in the center and then they jet out. So it's like this. So if they're up, it's not a true sad expression. But if they come together like two L's, or the long parts come together, that's the person is really sad. So if you guys can remember that for your own sculptures when you're animating, that is how you get across to the audience that someone is truly unhappy. So I'm going to try to do that in this sculpture. And so I think I've got too much clay on this side. I'm just going to remove some. All right. So something like this, and then I'll smooth this out and kind of round it, and then I think I might just like bring these together a little bit closer. I never did give this guy any eyebrows per se on my design. Like I never put like two little lines there. I think that the fact that I did not do that, I kind of maybe forgot to do it, but it makes him unique, so I might just leave those off. I might not add those to this character. It'd be purely sculpted in clay. All one color clay. I think that's what I'm going to do. Smooth it out. Alright. You know, it's kind of nice that the weather here is it's getting, you know, it's gotten a lot hotter, obviously. And you can hear crickets and all kinds of bugs outside. I don't know if you guys like to hear bugs, but I kind of like that. Do I like Marvel? Well, yeah, I like all. I mean, comic books are pretty cool. I was never really a huge comic book reader growing up. I liked Image Comics. I liked some of the more independent stuff, actually. And Randy says, but aren't all these apple people and they eat apples, so does the script have a secret cannibalistic twist? No, these aren't actually apple people. They're not, they're emojis. So, if they were apple people, I'd probably make them red, though. That might be another, that might be a good future film, though. Alright, I think this is going to look pretty cool here. Okay. Kind of make it a little bit nice in terms of a sharper detail, because like I said, once you smooth it out, you remove those details. You want to make sure that it's the details are crisp and distinctly visible, and not what do you call it, mushy, I think is the word. You know, you don't want it to be where you can't really tell what you're looking at. It has to be well defined. So there is our sad face. I think we are done with that one. So next time, I guess next week we can do maybe, I don't know, a couple more expressions. I think someone made a suggestion. Let's see. Tony says, what about scared? That might be a good one. So maybe next week we'll do that. All right. So, anyways, here's what we have so far. I think I'm pretty proud of the progress we've made already. I think this guy does look unique compared to my other characters so far. So I think that especially this one here and this one with these cheeks, and this as well. Yeah, I don't know. Next time I might change this one. I'm not super happy with this expression. Not super happy with this one. But we'll worry about that next time. But anyway, so thank you guys for stopping by. It was fun talking. And all right, see you guys all next week. See you later.